This is a little anticlimactic, I know, but I'm in the same wardrobe as I was in when I made last night's video because I didn't go to work today, and it was no fault of my own. I wanted to go, and I was ready. I went, even since last night, I went to bed at my new normal bedtime, 1 in the morning, which, helps me stay wide awake first thing normally, because, 1:30 wasn't working out for me, and when I was still going to try it, it was 2:30 because I was starting later to the point where I was getting enough sleep, to the point where even if I went to bed at 2:30, I'd still be wide awake the next day, unless, I somehow, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, got tired in the middle of the morning, go in the lounge and sleep, where we could get away with it, but unfortunately, Viacrest doesn't let you do that, but that's fine. I've been trying to, get a proper, bedtime now on work nights, and, also get a proper sleeping pattern, get a good sleeping pattern too, no matter if I'm a few minutes late. So I went to bed at 1, I was ready, but then all of a sudden I wake up, it's 10 o'clock, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then eventually I did wake up, and my mom got home from work, and my grandparents are both under the weather, so they slept until, the doorbell rang for my grandmother's physical therapist or something like that. It was a therapist or something, but yeah, my grandparents are both a little under the weather, so you can send a prayer to both of them, and hopefully they'll, as my neighbor Debbie Sork said, after David A. Arnold, my favorite actor, comedian David A. Arnold, unexpectedly passed away last week. Only time heals wounds. So say a prayer for Mama and Papa. My grandparents own Virginia and Lewis Plaza, who are both a little under the weather. But anyway, on to the subject of this video. I'm here to break down the NASCAR schedule for the Winston Cup Series, the Busch Series, and Yep, they're officially back. The Craftsman Truck Series, it's officially back. I already made a video on that topic. If you want to go look at it, link it in the description. It also talks about Danger Force getting renewed and a million little things. Fifth season being the final one, confirmed by DJ Nash. But anyway, let's break down the schedule. First off, we'll go in order of the series, and I could care less what ARCA does, but anyway, because, they never tell us ARCAs until, after the fact. Anyway, Winston Cup. So, Dad, if you're watching this, okay, I'm trying to see if I can say this right. The Checker Auto Parts 500 Championship race at Phoenix is going to be November 5th. So, you better tell our friend Dennis Cruz and warn him like Ward Burton when it's going to be, so that way we could get the tickets and maybe even... Sorry, I got a little bit of a canker sore up on my upper lip. I don't know how that happened. So, Dad, you better warn Dennis like Ward Burton that the Checker Auto Parts 500 Championship race is Sunday, November 5th, and better get those tickets ready. So, maybe we can go to, because don't forget, the Craftsman Truck and the Busch Series Championship race, the Silverado 150 and the Bosch Supermarkets 250 are both Saturday nights, so maybe we can see the Craftsman and Busch champion get crowned in person at night. Wouldn't that be so fucking amazing? So that's going to be, yep. If we're able to go, I know we're going to go that weekend, but if we're able to go to all three, Craftsman, Busch, and Winston, that's going to be a long-ass race weekend vlog, and hopefully I can get a portable charger. That way, we don't have to worry about the same problems we always deal with at MIS, we've dealt with at MIS in the past. Yeah, and speaking of MIS, it's the same as, this year. Instead of, being the second to last weekend of August, like in 2021, that's like in 2022. It's going to be the first weekend of August, so maybe I'll get a portable charger by then too, so that way we don't have to worry about the problems we had this year even. Last year we had problems on Saturday during the Busch race. Sunday last year we lucked out. This year was the other way around. So therefore, if you want to go look at the 2022 MIS race weekend vlog, link is in the description. So therefore, and this year, since it's still the first weekend after August, that worst weekend of August, that hasn't changed. But what has changed is they moved the Monte Carlo 400 at Richmond from August to July. So the Monte Carlo 400 is going to be the week before MIS. So hopefully I'll get to watch that, since it'll help me prepare for MIS. And North Wilkesboro North Wilkesboro has the Winston All-Star race. Guess what? It's the week before the Coke 600, just like it used to be when I was in Charlotte when I was growing up. So therefore, even if it means I have to stay in the house and, miss out on the nice weather and some friends and loved ones and outsiders that I'm best friends with and I love, it's going to be well fucking worth it, especially since my driver Austin Dillon is locked in with this year's win in the Firecracker Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Oh my god, at this rate, like I said in the earlier video, I don't remember which one it was, we might not need a Winston Open with how many winners we've had in the Winston Cup Series this year. I mean, there's going to be very little competitive cars in that Winston Open in 2023. And of course, the Coke 600 the week after. And both, I'm not sure if they said both Atlanta races were going to be at night, but either way, if they said they did, that means we get the Cracker Barrel 500 and the Napa 500 at night, which is amazing. Chicago Street Course, the Daytona, the 4th of July weekend went from Daytona all these years I was growing up to Road America to Chicago Street Course. So even if it means I have to stay in the house for that and miss the nice weather and my friends, I will try to catch that too to see, give it a shot and see how I like it. But it's like food. You never know until you try. So therefore, I'm willing to give that a shot. The Twin 125s were the day after my birthday. We got poker game night the day before the Daytona 500. I think we'll be in the middle of we'll be starting season 2 by then. So if you don't see any race videos on the Napa 300 Busch race at Daytona, you'll see why. But the Daytona 500, I'm going to live stream next year. And maybe this year, since I fell asleep before the 125 this year, maybe this year I will stream the 125s. And maybe this year, since, I was on a medicine shortage at the time, maybe this year I'll stream the Florida Dodge Dealers 250 Craftsman Truck Series opener at Daytona this coming year. So I hope I can get to do that for you guys. And then poker game night, instead of Napa 300 and then the Daytona 500. But, there's very little change in the schedule because when I was growing up, I used to know when Rut Race was when because it was always the same, It was always Texas and then Martinsville, then Talladega, or Texas and then Talladega and then Martinsville, then California. I'm glad that keeping it the same, so that way whenever there's a new track, there's still that same amount of excitement in the air. Because if they kept adding new tracks every year, it would just lose that excitement we would have of adding new tracks. It would just take that away. So that's why, Ben Kennedy's doing an amazing job. Jim France isn't perfect, but he's doing way better than the drunk Brian ever did. And Mike Helton was never the problem. I know what people, including myself when I was younger, got mad at him, but it really wasn't all his fault. He was just drunk Brian's ass kisser. If anything, we should be mad at, Steve Felt. Not he shouldn't be mad at Jim. We should be mad at the two Steves, Felt and O'Donnell, and that decrepit old fart, Scott Miller. So, but anyway, at least they're somewhat trying to make this all better. But, yeah, trying to think what other changes. Oh, yeah. For the Busch Series, for the first time ever, the Busch Series is going to Sears Point. Why the fuck couldn't they do that when I was little? Come on. They're still going to Road America, even though the Winston Cup Series isn't going there no more. And they're going to still have 2 Talladega races, The only reason why that second fall Talladega Busch race even happened was because of COVID in 2020. Because that's exactly what was that was exactly the race that, killed off, the 2020 Busch race at MIS that me and my dad were supposed to go to. So yeah, the 2020 MIS Busch Series race died for a second Talladega, Busch Series race in the fall that wasn't supposed to happen. But everybody liked it so much, including myself. It got so many good, that 2020 second Talladega race up in the Busch Series got so many views and so much support that, they wanted to make it a full-time thing after they got back to a kind of normalcy. So that's what's bad. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Busch or Craftsman Truck Series each, I think one has Bristol as, Bristol's going to be is it? I have to look at the schedule, but either in the Busch Series, I think either Bristol's going to, Bristol, I think is going to be wait. Okay, that's what I thought. Bristol is going to be the first race of the Busch Series chase, and Kansas being the cutoff. And I thought Talladega was going to be a cutoff in the Craftsman Truck Series. If it was, it would have been fucking awesome. But sadly, it's not. It's the second to last race before the Chevy Silverado 150. But we got Bristol in the chase finale, the Winston Cup Series for the Sharpie 500. But we also got in the chase for the Busch and Craftsman Truck Series. And yeah, like RealRadman said, it sucks that the only true Saturday night race that's still there is the Sharpie 500. I mean, sure, we got Atlanta at night, the Cracker Barrel and Napa 500. We still got that. I mean, we still got the Coke 600 on Sunday night, which has always been a thing since I was little. And even before I existed, it was a thing. I mean, we still got the Easter Bunny 500 dirt race at Bristol. We still got that. But what I don't like is that, other than those things, there's really not much Saturday night races left anymore in Winston Cup. I mean, thing is, the last of them that we had was the Virginia 500. Considering, I understand why they moved it just back to Sunday afternoon like old times. Because, one, the ratings were bad on Saturday nights, especially in 2020 with no fans in the stands. And 2021 with how fucking bad not 2021. No, 2020 had no fans in the stands. 2021, we didn't even get to run Saturday night because we had to move it to Sunday afternoon because of rain. And 2022, the Saturday night, and we finally got to run it on Saturday night for real, where we got a true Saturday night Virginia 500. It was really, not only the ratings declined, but the race was really, really bad. It was a hot caca show. So now I see why, they moved it to Sunday afternoon, but still, when I was growing up, we had a bunch of Saturday night races to because it was NASCAR's roots, Saturday night short track, You had the Monte Carlo 400 and Pontiac Excitement 400 at night. I'm trying to think. What other night races we used to have? We haven't had a Saturday night Atlanta. Didn't we have a Saturday night Atlanta race at one point? No, Darlington. We had Darlington when the Southern 500 was in the spring. The Mountain Dew Southern 500 was in the spring. It was at night. I mean, we used to have a shitload of those when I was growing up. I used to look forward to those more than the Sunday afternoon races, meaning we could just watch the race Saturday night and then, you get to stay up however late we want and then, sleep in Sunday and then, get up at an early reasonable time Sunday and either get to relax or, play with our friends or do it. Well, something that the younger version we didn't do on Lenore and maybe did a little bit on Sandhurst, but still, just do whatever we wanted all day Sunday until, we had to go to bed early for school the next day if it was during the school year. Or, hell, even in the summer when we had Saturday night races, we get to stay up all night on Sunday and not have to worry about setting that damn alarm or waking up early Mondays. I mean, we get to sleep all day Monday. But unfortunately, that's what happens when, when you grow up. Stuff like that changes. And what sucks about Winston Cup, there's only one off week. It's just like this past year when it was, it was in between the transition from Fox to NBC. Because remember that Cedar Point race or Father's Day? Yeah, link in the description if you want to look at that. Yeah, that was that week after my dad's driver, Daniel Suarez, won the first Winston Cup race in the Dodge Sabre at 350 at Sears Point, the last NASCAR and Fox telecast broadcast race of the season. Yeah, I mean, at least we got to relax in Cedar Point this year, and we fortunately, but unfortunately, might have to do that again. Sure, we'll get to relax on Father's Day, but that's like the only week we have off. I mean, other than that, there's really none. I mean, this is why I stopped watching full time because, the thing is, something I've learned in life is sometimes you need a break from the things you love. I mean, if there was no break, then you wouldn't like it as much. Like today, since I didn't get to go to work today, I kind of had a break from being outside with my friends. And throughout season 2 of Fun in the Sun, I did take some breaks only because I didn't have a choice. Because, like I said, if I had no break from going outside with my friends in the neighborhood when the weather's nice, it wouldn't be as fun and I wouldn't like it as much. Which is why, now that I'm older, since we barely get any off weeks in Winston Cup anymore, I find better stuff to do and, never in the house when the weather's nice. But, North Wilkesboro, Chicago street course, even if it means I have to stay in the house and not miss out on the nice weather and my friends, I am going to watch it to see how it turns out. But yeah. Oh, yeah, my trick-or-treat basket for when I get back in the fight. I will make a separate video on that sometime down the line, before Halloween gets here, where I'm going to announce how I'm going to be back in the fight for Halloween this year and next. But Yeah, if you probably seen it in yesterday's video. I'm not have to link it. You can just click the one next to this one. On the fall warm weather fall 2022 banger where I announced with Abby Sorg that I was going to be back in the fight. But anyway, that's a conversation. We're going to save for another video. But yeah, I think one thing I don't like is I'm glad they put Indy at the second weekend of August because I'd much rather go to the Corn Fest, next August, the second weekend of August instead of watching that hunk of junk we call the Indianapolis Road Course, because after this year's running has like half the field, including some of our favorites, forgot how to drive. And, that's what means me to this. I mean, it's going to go to 2023, and yet there's still no Brickyard 400. And like RealRadman said, I know he people, bitch at him saying, oh, but you wanted this race gone. You want it back. Well, here's the thing, though. The Gen 6, sucked out at Indianapolis, with their shitty package, I mean, 22, to be fair, they put on some good shows with the Gen 6, but very rarely anyway. 2020 with no fans in the stands actually was pretty good. It was a banger, even though my favorite driver got crashed on the last lap, but he was on his way to a top 10, Trying to think, there was another Brickyard 400 with the Gen 6 that was, sure, it was a crash fest, but at least that was gave us something worth watching. 2017, it was raining in the first half, and then they got back in there, just wrecked them all, including the KFB, MTJ fight in the pits with their crew members and whatnot. Other than those two, the racing at Indianapolis for the Gen 6 sucked. Now that we got the Gen 7 and the new package, that's actually been pretty good at almost most tracks. I think the Gen 7 would put on a hell of a show at the Brickyard 400 Oval. So, therefore, I better, like RealRadman said, subscribe to him, link to his channel, link in the description. Like RealRadman said, after the next year's running of the Indianapolis Road Course, 2023, they better bring that Indianapolis Oval with the Brickyard 400 back in 2024. If they're going to do it soon. And I'm glad, that hunk of junk we call Texas Motor Speedway lost the race. And for the first time since 2004, they only have one race. So instead of it being the Samsung Radio Shack 500, it's the Dickies 500. If it were up to me to, see what tracks, get added to the schedule, get subtracted, or lose dates and whatnot, I would say Texas Motor Speedway goes away altogether, but that's not up to me, and that's not even up to NASCAR. It's up to SMI. The only way that's going to make SMI make that track go away forever is if the track killer Alex Bowman wins the Dickies 500, either this year, next year, or sometime down the line, because every time Alex Bowman wins at a track, it's either they get their reconfigured, they get their distance changed, they get their layout reconfigured, and they get their date taken away or whatever. So maybe if Alex Bowman wins the Dickies 500 this year or next year, maybe that track will go away forever. So, but we'll see. If based on the trends and patterns that develop, but. Yeah, we're in for a hell of a 2023 NASCAR season, even though I'm not a full-time watcher anymore. But anyway, stay tuned, throughout the Adventures in Autumn for more warm weather bangers, the upcoming Sandy Ridge 2022 finale, even though, like I said yesterday, that's going to be a little sad. The more we make those kind of videos, the sadder it gets. Stay tuned for the Christmas Brothers content this winter with, Supersonic Fan 113 and his dad, Justin Dana Rogerson, the Jerry Springer man. Stay tuned for my Halloween announcement video, what I'm going to be this year and next year, as well as this year's, Halloween trick or treat, Mike and Mo birthday banger. So, from, Mike O'Malley and Maura Quirk from Nickelodeon Guts / Global Guts, on Halloween, because they have two birthdays in 2 days. One's the 30th, one's the 31st. So I want to combine them together and maybe throw in some Global Guts clips and whatever clips on the show I could find, but pay tribute to them. Stay tuned for Poker Game Night this Saturday. Bunk'd episode 9 reaction this Sunday, and That Girl Lele, maybe we'll do That Girl Lele, the Mark Martin installment tomorrow, because keep in mind, I'm looking forward to this next chapter of the show. It just won't be the same without the creator, their father, friend, and boss, the GOAT, David A. Arnold. And let me see here. Oh yeah, the 2022-2023 television season kicks off this month. Welcome to Flash comes back for season 2 in a couple weeks. We got the Goldbergs premiering their 10th season on the 21st. Let me see here. Don't forget, we got that Watchful Eye coming soon to Freeform. With the Winchesters is coming October 2nd with Meg Donnelly. Villains of Valley View, Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion resume their season in October with the Villains of Valley View Halloween episode on the 2nd. That's after the EA Sports 500, though. We're gonna watch that after the EA Sports 500. We'll probably. I gotta figure out what time Disney Channel is gonna air that Halloween episode of Villains of Valley View. So if they air it in the middle of the day, then we'll watch the race, record it, and then after we give a race reaction to the EA Sports 500, then we'll watch it. But that's plan A. Plan B is if they air it at night, then we'll watch the EA Sports 500 first. And then maybe if we don't have time to rewatch it Sunday night, then we'll just watch it Monday night or something. Because by then it's going to start getting colder and colder and colder. And then Bunk'd, resumes their 6th season on September 25th. But, and we still have to finish, Season 2 of Danger Force and knock out the last of Side Hustle before it ended for good. So we got our work cut out for us, with all these new shows, all these new seasons of our shows premiering, and some of the shows we have from the previous seasons that we haven't finished yet, including some of them that got ended for good. But anyway, so tomorrow we're gonna do Lele Mark Martin installment, even though it's gonna be the first episode without the creator, the legend, the GOAT, their father, friend, boss, David A. Arnold. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Life will give you a lot of lows, but when you hit a high, enjoy it. It ain't for the weak. Goddamn, bring your ass, pace yourself, be you. You have to try harder to do less. You can't deport a dream. Sometimes the worst things in life lead to the best things. Always bet on the side of love. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. Sometimes you just got to be present. You never fail until you stop trying, and never pays to worry too much about things. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. It's never too late to turn the day around. Another day on time, another day to shine. Take care, everyone. Good night, and I will see you all for this stacked lineup of videos and content that you'll be seeing in the fall winter months in place of the Spurs content. And there's actually one more thing I want to bring to you guys. If we get a properly working computer sometime throughout the fall and winter, I will be playing NASCAR Thunder 2003, but not the DLC, not these fanfics yet, not yet. Kamikaze Games used to do on Thunder 04 a lot, and once on Thunder 03, a DNF stream where he'd hit certain drivers to make them retire. Like, drivers when you're playing the game normally don't ever retire because they always do good, but like do the unusual driver retirements. Well, there's going to be more details on that in a separate video. I will be doing that as like a playthrough, since I don't have that superior equipment to do a stream like Kamikaze. But I will be doing that as a series, and I will be using Dale Earnhardt Sr. But what am I going to be doing? Well, wait until an announcement video sometime later. The Adventures in Season 2 Adventures, and I'm going to Season 2 of Winter Wonderland to find out more details. But anyway, we got Arby's for dinner, so let's eat. See you later, everyone.